So, Mr. Evans, Mr. Akim Pelu has bond violations that he is
drinking, but and tampering. However, I have great suspicion about the integrity of these tests, because the last time he was adamant, but we didn't have any proof. This time, they alleged an allegation on the 7th. The 7th was the first day you had him coming in to test. So he was in court that entire time. He tested that day. However, they said he tampered and had alcohol in his system at 11, but at 1:30, he receives a text that's saying that he passed. So I don't know. We've had a lot of clients in here. I don't know many people who drink while in court on the day of. So I think the record would show that from your test that you had them do on the 7th. So
he didn't show up until after like 12:30 that day.
But he still tested that day.
Regarding that, I did reach out because I did notice that for the violation, he was at 49 getting tested during the time, and I obtained the SCRAM report. I can of course send it over to you as well. I had one of my—
Hold on, a tamper alert and a positive alcohol reading while he was literally sitting in court. That's either the world's boldest move or a malfunction screaming for an audit. You tell me.
My supervisors look over it again due to the discrepancy there, and it does show multiple tampers themselves, but for the tampers that detected alcohol but not confirmed as consumption, it's very much believed that it could possibly be an environmental factor while he was at 49, either due to hand sanitizer or something of the sort, because they're very low spikes that come back down very quickly. But I don't know.
So all the violations at the time that he was at pretrial?
Yes, so not all of them, just the one that was most recently filed on him for 11/7. Is
So-
one of the at pretrial.
But what I'm saying is the exact same wording in violation on 11/7. He's at pretrial is the exact one that he got that brought us into this situation that made him have to test so much. So we cannot trust the one that happened on 11/7.
The other violations.
How can we trust that violation?
I only saw one submitted for that one. Is there more that we haven't addressed?
I don't know. I mean, I thought there
So
were.
we had a previous one, I believe it was for his GPA. Let me check.
It was another one. So it was another one in October. Said he tampered, tested for alcohol, then he disappeared. You remember I said I don't understand how that happens. So then he gets the exact same one, and luckily he was at San Jacinto tampering. It disappeared.
Here's your forensic twist of the day. Environmental contamination. Yep, hand sanitizer might be fooling the system. So now the question is, are we tracking alcohol or just overly clean hands?
So if that one is bad, I believe the previous one was bad. Now he did come in late 7 minutes. That was his only other violation. And we understand that it's bad. But in regards to these two tamperings, we cannot trust the 11/7 one. I don't think we can trust the other one. And for that
And
reason,
it says here, a tamper event occurred on 10/29/24 at 2:25 p.m. Alcohol was detected. They couldn't confirm because of the nature of the tamper, right?
right.
So the one thing with that one, however, is I also obtained the SCRAM report, and I believe I sent that one over to you. I'll double check. If not, I'll send it over again. And that one showed like a high level spike with a dissipation. And the discrepancy with the one on 11/7 is that it's a very short bump that comes down very quickly. The other one showed more accuracy of alcohol that wasn't deemed to be a possible environmental factor. Or the
So you're saying the 10/29 could have been environmental then?
I believe so. I don't
And he tested, and that's the day that he blew earlier that day. Or he did something earlier that day in regards to testing.
We don't have evidence of that.
What I'm
Like
saying,
if you do, I mean, if
I think they checked it that.
Deja vu, anyone? Identical tampering reports keep showing up and then just vanish. If this were a crime novel, you'd think someone was erasing clues from the scene. But it's real life, And these inconsistencies are raising red flags all over the courtroom.
I think it was something he had to do for the other case. But what I'm saying in regards to all these, if we were in court, the integrity of these machines are in question. I don't know if he has a malfunctioning one, but I don't see how we can rely on this SCRAM device if it is saying that almost the exact same thing. She's saying the levels are a little higher or lower. It dissipated. However, I was told that alcohol stays in your system for a period of time and levels off. So I don't know how it can dissipate within seconds, even if it went higher or lower. And if it was higher on that day,
so if you have something in environmental, like let's say he puts sanitizer on his hands and it drips to the leg, right? Mm-hmm. The spike would be just thousands. It would be just astronomical. So we know that there's no possible way it could be alcohol. But when they're small, then it's more the reality that it could be alcohol. But the problem is that the device is supposed to stay on the legs to confirm. And when you have a tamper as such that you can't confirm, therein lies the problem. Because we have, I understand what you're saying about the integrity of the machine, but if every single time we have someone that's tampering with it so that we can't get an accurate result, there's a problem. And I can't believe that every single one of those times, there's not a true tamper, because it can't just...
Wait, alcohol dissipating in seconds? Science says no. Law says prove it. And this SCRAM device, it's starting to sound more like a sci-fi prop than a reliable piece of evidence.
Continue to happen, and we can't get a true and accurate reading because of something that's, forbidding it from happening.
Yeah, and sometimes it can be the shoes. Like I talked very thoroughly with my supervisor today about it, just because I was confused of the matter as well. And like if you're wearing boots, it can also affect that. But the thing is, they're very thoroughly instructed, and he reports to pretrial very often, so he should be aware of all of the things that he's not allowed to do in order to tamper with it. Because even this most recent tamper where the alcohol was alleged there, that may have been an environmental factor, but it is a definite confirmed tamper. So even if it wasn't intentional, it's still showing a tamper. So I don't know if he maybe had his pants tucked in under the device, but that's why he keeps getting the PRs.
Something is preventing the machine from doing what it's supposed to do. Mr. Evans?
If he wants to report to pretrial and have it checked out, maybe to what's today, Wednesday, tomorrow, whenever he does his drug test, I can make him an appointment for that. But that's,
But my position is this: we're here to try to make sure he's not drinking, and I understand that's very important. I agree with, and I know how the judge feels about drinking and driving. However, the day that he's in court testing, you had him do a urine test that same exact day, and they're saying alcohol on that day was a small spike. However, the alcohol on the 29th was a larger spike, and each one dissipated quickly, which means the only way you can know it dissipated is you would have to be able to test afterwards.
So we've got boots, pants, hand sanitizer, and now possibly rogue fashion choices interfering with justice. You can't make this stuff up, but it raises a serious question. Is the tech failing the system, or is the system failing the tech?
I'm just saying, other than in a civil court or criminal court, the integrity of this machine would be in question. And now
let's do this. He's due back for a test tomorrow, right? So let's do this. Let's regroup tomorrow. Can you get me a full report of every single test that he's done?
Yes, sir.
Every single number that you've been able to actually capture, okay? Every single tamper that you have, and I want a complete list of every single event that's happened.
Yes, Judge.
And then we'll get a copy to Mr. Evans, and then we'll talk to Mr. Akim Pelu about it tomorrow.
Yes, Judge.
How about that? Because I don't have any paperwork in front of me, so I know how many events there have been, and that's really the only way that we should be even going forward, is to get a full and complete picture.
And that's what I was asking for an email.
So let's do that, and then he's supposed to be here tomorrow, so if you can just advise him to come earlier than 12:30, that would really help everyone, you know?
Okay, I will
And
do
then
that.
we'll regroup tomorrow.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Let's plan maybe like 11 o'clock. Is that okay, Mr. Evans?
That's fine.
Yeah? Okay, we'll do that.
All right, thank y'all.
Okay, thanks, bud.
The next day,
I think so.
Tell me,
This is the going to.
what's the word, Thunderbird?
I got somebody's phone.
Akim Pelu, come up.
I'm sorry.
Everybody, please, just keep it down. You know, guys, we're talking about Akim Pelu. Is he on the docket today or no?
No, you just want us to come back.
Let me give you
Regulars.
a cause number, guys. And
I remember this case, Judge.
I'm at a loss of everything, you know? You're on 2 different felony probations, both of those for driving while intoxicated. Both of those are felonies. So it's not only do you pick up 1 DWI third, but you pick up a second DWI third. Get on probation for both of those. And now you've picked up here, driving on a suspended license. We ordered you, number 1, not to drive, and number 2, not to consume alcohol. That's all I've ordered you to do. Just don't consume alcohol and don't drive. Has anything happened upstairs?
Well, Your Honor, to be fair, I think the integrity of the machines are in question. 11/7. So when he picked up the first one on 10/29, you told him to test Monday and
You
Thursday.
mean picked up what? The machine?
No, when he when you thought it was a tamper on 10/29, he started testing Monday and Thursday, which in this case helps us. So on Thursday, 11/7, he was here in court where he tested. He tested at 12 o'clock. At 11 a.m., they got a tamper and a sign of alcohol. However, he tested clean with the test you told him to take that day. So which tells me that that machine's integrity is not correct. So if the integrity of, and he's maintained that he has not been drinking either time. Every time we leave the court, I promise he's not drinking. So if that machine is saying tampering alcohol and he goes and tests on 11/7 at 12 p.m., an hour after the tampering in alcohol, then he may be telling the truth. And I understand what we're dealing with, but he has tampering, sign of alcohol, and then it dissipates and there's nothing there. So
I'm on the same page as you as far as I never want to punish someone who's never done or who has not done anything wrong. That's not what we don't do that. We're the exact opposite. I mean, I scrutinize every single thing that Michael does, every case, every probable cause, I don't think I scrutinize the hell out of it. But at the same time, I also do that with people that are in front of us as well as people with charges, right?
And Your Honor, and to say off the record, I know that you do that. I know that you are a judge that will be very fair in these situations. So I'm just saying that.
So he takes a urine sample. It looks like on 11. What day was it?
11/7.
11.
Here's the moral tension. If he's clean, this tech might be wrecking Lev's with faulty alerts. But if he's not, then the tampering is more strategic than accidental. Either way, the court has to dig through digital smoke signals to find the truth.
7.
I think the sample was taken around noon. He did 2 that day, 1 upstairs and 1 downstairs. So 11 and 1 o'clock, he had to do 2 different samples. 11:07, they say he tampers and a sign of alcohol occurs. So he was here in court but still have 2 urine analysis around the same time as that he.
Alicia,
Yes,
do you
Judge?
have a test for 11.7? Because I don't have it.
Yeah, so it's probably not in those records because right now it's just presumptive. It was presumptive, but it's negative. So nothing came back. I have it on my end here. It should be, let me-
What time was the positive for alcohol on 11.7?
for the SCRAM report? Let me see.
I thought it was like 11 a.m.
Sorry, normally I don't look over those reports because I don't know how to use them, but I will try to figure it out.
Hey, Judge, I might have an unupdated report. The only BVR I have here is for a SCRAM violation from October 30th.
Yes.
Was there another violation?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
there's a violation technically pending on our end because he was coming in that day, so I addressed the violation. And so they were waiting to file it to see if judge wanted that to be filed because he was going to address it at court. And that's what we're discussing from 11.7. So that violation is pending a DVR because judge is taking action on it already.
Do we have a,
I could have sworn you said that there's another presumptive alcohol
On 11/7.
on 11.7.
No, there's a presumptive negative for the POC test that he took on rapid test.
No, yeah, right.
On
I know that
11/7,
one.
it was a alcohol detected, but.
What time was that?
confirmed. I'm trying to read the report.
Because
I don't know how to read
see,
the
we've got a
So I
presumptive.
got it right here for Brittany Gordon. The defendant order was obtain a SCRAM device. The defendant SCRAM